What is up, guys? I've been making videos for a very long time, since I was 10 or 11, and that's kind of been the go-to intro. My cat wants out, but I'll let him out. One moment. We'll see if I wake Alexis up while making this video. I hope I don't. I'm gonna talk about my life. This is mostly just for me. I was laying in bed, scrolling, and I looked at my personal Instagram, and I scrolled all the way to the bottom, and I just looked through all of my posts. Going back from before I moved to Corvallis, which was in 2016, all the way until now, being in Flagstaff, almost 28 years old. Feels weird. Feel very weird at this point in my life. But looking at those posts felt really cool, because I haven't really looked at those old posts in a long time, and they kind of really brought me back to how I felt in that moment. And I just want to make this so that I can look back. I'll put it up publicly because I think people may be interested in what I'm doing, what my plans are, what we're doing. But I'm most excited for me to look back at this in 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and just kind of feel how I'm feeling in this moment. Which I'll start by saying it smells really good right now. I didn't expect that. It kind of smells like San Diego. If you guys have been to San Diego for some reason, the airport smells really nice. Yeah, it smells good. I feel good. I feel tired. It's about 12:30. Our internet is out. We don't have any internet, and no one seems to want to fix it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna be opening this box that has a $40 price tag on it. So whenever me from the future is looking at this, we will see the price. Currently it's actually about $20 on eBay. Yeah, so I'll start by saying, I'll cut to the chase and say that I'm leaving Z&G Emporium, and it's an extremely interesting feeling. I feel very about it. I've been at Z&G since the very, very beginning of 2022, so it's been about 2.5 years now. First week of January, I believe, we being me and Alexis, my girlfriend, showed up to Flagstaff about the first week of January 2022, and we've been here ever since. And it's been sincerely, truly me from the future. In case you forgot so far, truly the best time of your life up until this point. For these cards in this pack, I'll just be taking out everything from Full House, and everything else will probably go in the garbage. So that's the long and short of it, is that you are leaving Z&G, and It's pretty bittersweet, but we're on to new things, right? What a trip it's been, that has led me all the way to my patio in Flagstaff, Arizona, where I get the opportunity to talk to more people that care about me than 2.5 years ago, right? So I was looking at my Instagram and looking at how I was feeling, or trying to put myself in my past self's shoes and trying to understand how I was feeling in those moments when I was posting those things on Instagram. And Corvallis was a really terrible time for me, a really bad time in my life, due to some stuff that no one needs to know about, but me from the future will know about. One thing being a complete lack of progress in my life, even though progressing daily, shout out John Hill, was something I strived for. I wanted to be better today than I was yesterday, every single day. Yet, over the 3 years and 3 months, I believe, that I lived in Corvallis, I really don't feel like I progressed much at all. Which is a bit of a bummer, but that's all right. I remember in 2018, I was applying to a bunch of jobs because I was working at a gas station in Corvallis, Oregon, at a Fred Meyer fuel center. And I truly despised that job for about 3 years of the 3 years and 3 months I was there. It was also one of the only things I was doing in Corvallis, was working. I wasn't doing school very much. I tried a lot, and it just wasn't working due to some stuff. And I remember probably about 2018, because it was in the new apartments right next to the library and the police station in Corvallis, right across the street from the park. And I remember writing in my phone, because I'd applied to a bunch of jobs and no one was getting back to me. No one was interested. Absolutely no one wanted me. And that's a bummer. John Stamos. Good. And I remember just like, I don't know if I cried, but I sure felt like crying. We got a good card here. Bob Saget, there you go. We'll put him in the stack. And Dave Coulier. Also Steve Urkel and Jaleel White. And I remember writing a note in my phone that I don't have anymore. My phone broke. And it said, one day you'll have what you're looking for now. And remember how you feel right now in this exact moment. And the way that I felt in that moment was truly miserable. Just truly felt like trash. And I was applying to all sorts of jobs that were just out of my reach, you know. I was applying to Riot Games a bunch, I know. I was applying to a lot of like video game type jobs, a lot of like esport type jobs, a lot of random kind of stuff that I just was not qualified for. But I just really wanted to stop working at the gas station where I was making $14 an hour. And that was 2018 that I wrote the note to myself saying that one day I will have what I'm, you know, so upset about in Corvallis in the living room. I remember I was laying on the floor in the living room and my roommates weren't home. And I just was so upset, you know? And I have that now, to be quite frank. I have what I wanted in 2018, which was a job that I love. And potentially moving away from that is like a very scary prospect, because I know how badly I wanted that in 2018. So in 2019, we moved from Corvallis, me and my roommates, and we all moved to Beaverton, Oregon. And there I continued to work at Fred Meyer, but now inside of the store. And I was working overnights stocking shelves. And I've been paying attention. I've been kind of like not really, but kind of keeping a pulse on Pokemon, you know, like the cards in general. And like I played through the games. And I really loved the cards. But I just didn't collect them. I didn't buy them. I didn't have the money to do that. I had no money. Like at all. And I had seen someone mention on Reddit saying, oh, Hidden Fates Elite Trainer boxes, I think it sucks that they're so expensive now. They're about $80 when they used to be 50. And I had seen a Hidden Fates ETB, or so I thought that's what it was. It was on a shelf, or it was inside of a vending machine actually, that Pokemon had all over the Pacific Northwest. And I bought it for $50, which was more money than I really kind of had at the time. Another John Stamos. Another Dave Coulier, my favorite. Uncle Joey. And I took that ETB and I posted it on Facebook Marketplace for $70 and I sold it. And I met him in a Cabela's parking lot, and directly across the street was another Fred Meyer. There we go. Bob Saget. Went across the street to another Fred Meyer, and I took that $70 and I bought 2 more ETBs. So now I'm down $30. And from there I just kept flipping and flipping and flipping. And I started buying cards to grade. I started going to LCS's, LGS's, all that sort of stuff. I started opening packs when I felt that the value was there, you know, and that my hits would make up for the lost money of not selling the packs sealed. This is for me, by the way, if you're still watching. Just so I don't forget. And yeah, I started flipping. I started grading cards, and that was right before the pandemic in 2020, March 2020. I think I sold my first ETB in February 2020. So I got in a little bit earlier than everyone that came in during COVID, of course. And I remember I was so just that high that I got off of selling something and just making $20 out of thin air that didn't exist before. That $20 to me was, it didn't exist, and now it exists, and I have it, and that's my $20. Was an unbelievable feeling. And I just wanted to get as in depth with that as I possibly could. Like, I wanted every piece of information about flipping cards that I could possibly get. And no one was really making videos, especially compared to now, especially as compared to the COVID days. But I would type, flipping Pokemon cards, how to sell Pokemon cards, how to ship Pokemon cards, everything about Pokemon. And that's where I saw, I think the first PokeTuber I would have seen would have been old school Pokemon. That was a bit primetime Pokemon-y, actually, there. I also saw Z&G Emporium on YouTube at the same time. They were kind of the only two people that were really uploading finance videos or investing videos or how to run a Pokemon business videos. And I just loved it. I loved every time either of them would upload a video while I was at work, working from midnight to 8:30 in the morning, and I would watch it. I would watch some videos 2 or 3 times, honestly. Just starved for content. And like Nick's video where he shows how to ship Pokemon singles, and he tells you that you can buy stamps on eBay. I probably watched that video 5 times. So I did that a lot. And then eventually James offered me a job. I'm skipping a large portion of time here, about a year. Yeah, about a year. Close to 2 years. I'm skipping about 2 years here, actually. From beginning of 2020, COVID times, March, until right about the end of 2021. At this point, I was flipping enough that I could kind of just live off of the Pokemon profits that I was making. And I had gone from working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, to about 2 days a week. And once every other week or so, I would just call out because I didn't want to work that second shift. And so things were going good. At that same time, James, Z&G Emporium, was doing graded gem returns. And I'd been talking about, the future, what it holds for me, what it holds for James. We were just kind of talking about that, and I think it was, I'd have to look, I screenshotted it, but I won't be able to look because I'm recording with my cell phone right now. It was at about like 10:30 in the morning one day. James says, "Why don't you just move to Arizona? Go to the college that's in town, the university that's in town. Work with me 30 hours a week and just do that, just live here." And I didn't respond for 16 minutes. I don't think I saw it. I was probably, I don't know, I got off work at 8:30 in the morning. I might have been snoozing. But 16 minutes after he said that, I said, "Fuck it, I'm down." And we kind of talked about that a little bit for a couple weeks, I believe. And then I think it was November 11th, 2021, at 8:11 in the morning. I would have still been at work at this point. At 8:11, he said, how long, what did he say? The gist of it, one short message, I believe. Something along the lines of, how quickly could you get to Arizona? Or how long would you need? Or something. And so he messaged me at 8:11 in the morning. Another John Stamos. At 8:11 in the morning, I responded and I said, if it's for a few days, I can leave today. So it happened quick, maybe 5 days later, I don't know. Alexis and I were in Flagstaff for the weekend, or the week, I'm not sure. We were here for a few days, helping out. And on one of those days, James did a live stream or a video, I believe it was a video, and he mentioned something about like reverse hollows or something. I can't remember what it was. It was something nerdy. And I responded in the background. And I remember seeing a comment on that video, and they were like, oh, whoa, the person that's helping him out actually knows Pokemon. That's really good, you know? That's a tangent. First week of January 2022, we move here, and we stayed with James and Lauren, the owners of Z&G Emporium. I'm on my last pack. Let's hope for a third Bob Saget, huh? No, but we do have Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, the twins. How cool is that? I rambled longer than I expected. What company do you guys think I'm gonna go work for? Has anyone watched this far? I'm curious. I won't be telling you guys yet. At some point I will, and me from the future knows what company I'm gonna be working for. Yeah, so we did grade a gem. We sent so many cards back. Tens of thousands of cards back. That was so cool. Every single day I was like, whoa, how is this my job, you know? That was just such a cool experience. And such a cool experience. Much better than pumping gas, much better than stocking shelves. And then we paid a bit more attention to consignment, at least I did. And that was fun. And I learned a lot. Like a lot. Like, I went through and read through just a lot of messages between James and I around that time, before he offered me a job and before I ever considered living in Arizona again. And just the amount of stuff that I've learned since then is kind of hard to process, to be honest. The two of them have taught me so much, them being James and Lauren, and for that I'm just so grateful. Also, just the opportunity, you know, they could have just wanted me to work with them because I'm some kid that's stocking shelves, and of course I would take the offer to come move out to Arizona and try something new. And I'm trusted. People in the community know who I am a little bit, and they know that I wouldn't, steal some cards or what have you. But regardless of why they chose me, they did. And now because of that, other doors have opened up. Now that's not to say that was the goal. It wasn't. To be completely transparent, I thought I was gonna be with this company forever. I don't know. But I used the term married to the company. I felt very married to the company. I felt very invested in the company. All that to say, the company is moving from Flagstaff to Indiana, and I'm not. And I wish there was a better reason for it. I've thought about it a lot, and I don't have a good way to articulate it, and that sucks, because I really wish I I really wish I had an answer that would make sense exactly, so that when I say it, you in the comments can go, ah, that makes sense. But I don't, you know? It just didn't feel right. Which is weird, because 2018 me would probably bludgeon 2024 me to death for not taking this opportunity to move to Indiana and to continue this really amazing thing. 3 Bob Saget's, all off-centered, every single one of them. Because 2018 me is reminding 2024 me of just how terrible I felt in 2018. But it's hard when 2024 me feels so great about everything that I've experienced and everything I've done and the way that I feel now about all of this. I should have had a script, or at least some like bullet points, but I don't. It's just me with this is from yesterday. This is from last night, I believe. This had Baja Blast in it, but since then it's had room temperature tap water in it. So it just didn't feel right. So that sums that up. Truly the most, I believe, probably the most difficult decision I've ever had to make in my life up until this point, which is, I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I haven't had to make very many tough decisions in my life then. But I just hope like no one gets it twisted out. Maybe no one even cares, maybe. But like, it was a tough decision. It was hard, man, you know? And looking back at messages between James and I from October, November 2021, and just like how I felt stocking shelves and flipping on the side, or flipping and stocking shelves on the side, whatever. And then feeling how I feel now about like the next stages of my life, I don't know. I'm curious for those who don't know. Where do you think I'm going? What job do you think I'm gonna have? What do you think I'd be good at? I wanna hear. And I wanna feel insulted too, if you have that capability. What a cool time I've had, you know? What a cool time. Can you guys hear the little crickets or whatever? Can you guys hear that? Drop a 1 in the comments if you can hear the crickets. Yeah, I had more thoughts before I turned this on, but now I don't. More doors opened up for me, I guess. I went from just being a guy who knew about Pokemon and how to sell Pokemon to a guy who's employed because he knows Pokemon and knows how to sell Pokemon. And I think I've done cool stuff with this opportunity. I think I've done really cool stuff for the company. I think my impact has been noticed. I don't have anything negative to say. I wish I did. It'd be cool with like a thumbnail. I told James I wanted to make a video of his face with like X's over the eyes, you know? And say like, why I left Z&G Emporium or something along those lines. But I won't be doing that. I don't have much negative to say. The negative things that I've had to say, I've said. So, I'm an open book. I've already put all my negative thoughts into conversation, which weren't many. And me in 10 years knows that to be true as well. This time flew by. 2.5 years, it feels like it's been 6 months. Getting so many cool opportunities. Going to Collecticon Long Beach. Going to Collecticon Orlando. Becoming friends with so many cool people. Jarvis, I don't think is subbed, but I started talking to him because of Pokemon, and now we're like friends. That's so cool. I love that. I'm really looking forward to the future. Me in 10 years, I hope it turned out well. Let me know if it didn't, and then I'll stop. I just dropped all my Bob Saget's. Is that a sign from the future? That I just dropped these all on the ground? Was that your sign to me? I could have made this video 4 minutes long, and maybe I will. Maybe no one will see the director's cut. Yeah, I don't know. I've just learned so much in this time, and I could be making a terrible decision. I don't think so. I think it's just another fun thing to do. James and Lauren flew us out to Indiana for a weekend so that we could scope it out. They offered for us to go. They offered for us to move there with some incentive, you know, that I won't go into, of course, but we went and it was great, you know, which makes it weird. Like, we got to the airport and we got on the plane, and me and the guy next to me, we had a whole conversation about Indiana. Him and his wife across the aisle, we talked about Indiana, and they were like really, really, really nice people. And the woman sitting next to Alexis that had the window seat, she was also from Indiana, which makes sense because that's where we're going. But she was also really sweet. She was also really kind. And we showed up, and we stayed downtown right next to Monument Circle, which is an extremely, extremely beautiful, like, monument. It's a monument. It's in the name. And it's so beautiful. And the downtown is so cool with really, really old buildings that are like so cool looking, but then surrounded by skyscrapers, you know? And I love that. I love really old buildings that are made out of like stone, you know, like old libraries and like old like government buildings, like City Hall. Like, think of City Hall in your head, but then like a skyscraper right next to it, you know? I think that's so cool. It's my favorite design thing in cities. And that was cool. Everyone you meet there is like really kind. Like, you'll just be walking and someone's like, hello, how are you? Hello, I like your hat. Hello, cool shirt, you know? And it's like, whoa, why is everyone so nice? You know, what's that about? What are they doing? What do they know that I don't? And I think that's that Midwest hospitality or something. I don't know. But everyone is so nice. And we drove to a bunch of different cities. And you know, in general, what we saw was really nice. We went to the zoo, and I thought the Portland Zoo was like a really good zoo. It's the zoo that I've gone to like my entire life. And the Indianapolis Zoo is so much better. It's not even close. It's like not even, it's like LeBron James dunking on like a Make-A-Wish kid. Like it's not even in the same hemisphere. It's not even in the zoo was so cool. But then like in the hotel, you know, we're like, it just doesn't feel right, you know? And then we came back and we thought about it and we talked more about our future, and I talked more about my future, and Alexis talked more about her future, I think, than we've ever done in our entire lives, like combined. And we did that in like a week. And like, I just didn't have an answer. Like, are we going? Are we not going? Like, I don't know. But then we had to give an answer, and the answer it just didn't feel like the exact right move. Not even the exact right move. It just didn't feel right, you know? And that's really it. The job is really cool though. So if, you know, they start hiring when they get to Indianapolis, I would apply. Not me. If I were you, which I am 10 years in the future, in the past, I mean, I would I would consider it if you're a stranger to me. It was such a good time, you know? But for some reason, it just didn't feel like the right move. And have I let it slip where I'm going next? I don't know. But the timing just kind of worked perfectly, where while I was still on the fence, truly, not knowing which way we were going to go. Are we going to Indianapolis? Are we staying in Flagstaff? Are we moving back home? Am I going to go work back at Fred Meyer again and stock shelves and just go back to school? I am going back to school, by the way. I am. I have like a year or something left, which is a long time considering it's only an associate's. It might even be like a year and a half. I'm almost 28, that sucks. Really not sure which way we're gonna go, and something worked out. And I'm excited for it. I think it's extremely cool. I was talking with Zach. He's the guy who does our listings. He's remote, and I was on a Zoom call with him, and he and I talked about where I'm going next, and he thinks it's, you know, cool. He's excited for me. But something I told him was like, maybe this gives you a hint where I'm going. I don't know. I really want to, if anyone watches this, if anyone cares, you know, the ramblings of a nearly 28-year-old man opening Full House cards at midnight on his balcony. I told him that the only reason this even feels bittersweet as opposed to just bitter is because of where I'm going. If I could have handpicked the company that I'm going to, it would have been this company. So that's cool. I just can't think of many other companies that I would have been excited to go to. Yeah, it's extremely bittersweet, but I'm so excited for the future. I think James and I will be drinking Orphan Blood together, cheersing, you know, in 10 years or something. future 10, what am I saying? Me in 10 years? Let me know. Yeah. I guess for a hint, it's still in the trading card world. In the world of trading cards. Yeah, that's right. In the world of trading cards, that's what I'll say. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fully remote, so we have no ties to Flagstaff anymore. The company is leaving, which was our only real tie here. I'll be working fully remote. Alexis is fully remote. So now we're just kind of free to go wherever we want, do whatever we want. Which means that likely for the near future, we'll spend, I'm thinking probably a year or two, a couple of years maybe, back in the Pacific Northwest so that we can be around family again. I'm really looking forward to that. I love my family. I love being around my family. My family's been extremely supportive of this move that we've done out here and of, you know, this ridiculous job I've decided to take to move out to Flagstaff. And they're equally supportive of the next step. So I'm excited to be around family for a bit. I'm excited to do new things. Yeah, so I mean, I guess if I would have written out some bullet points, I'll do a TLDW for those that hit 42 minutes. I had a really terrible time from 2016 to 2019 living in Corvallis. I believe about 2018, maybe 2019. I was truly feeling terrible, absolutely miserable. And I was just so focused on progressing and being in a position that I'm happy with. And that is the position that I'm leaving now, is a position that I was happy with. And that makes the decision hard, right? The next bullet point would be why I'm leaving. And the answer is it just didn't feel right. If you want to know more about that, and you skip to the TLDW somehow, even though there's no chapters in this, you gotta go back and watch and listen to me ramble and mumble and try and figure out what I'm thinking as I'm thinking it. The other bullet point is just how appreciative I am of James and Lauren for taking a shot on me, you know? If that's because they saw something in me, or if that's because they needed a human being with hands and at least like half of a functioning brain to come help ship a bunch of graded gem returns. It could be that, you know? And that's fine too. But that means that I tricked them because I'm actually very competent and capable. Did you guys know the DJ's name in the show is Donna Joe? But her real name is Candace Cameron, which is part of that is my name, kind of. I just learned like an unbelievable amount of how to run a business and how to work inside of a business. It was a good time. Like, I guess that's something for me in 10 years to remember, that I would come into the office sometimes when it was just James and I would bring my headphones, my AirPods, just so I could like listen to podcasts all day or listen to music all day while I was working. But some days I would, get into the office to start working, and James would already be there because he started work at like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. The guy's crazy. And I like just wouldn't even put in my headphones until he would leave the office for the day, because we would just be talking all day long, just talking, just nonstop, just yapping, just talking up a storm. And like just laughing, like the top like 100 hardest laughs of my life. At this point, a good 20, 30, 35% maybe. That's a good number. I'll use 35% of the top 100 laughs I've ever experienced in my life have been between James and I. And that's like crazy, I was thinking about it. I've been here for about 2.5 years, and I'm turning about 28. So what does that mean? Like 8 or so % of my life I've spent here working in Flagstaff at Z&G. That's a lot of time. 8%. I've been here longer than I've been in middle school, It's a significant chunk of one's life. And the positives were just so positive, I guess, is the summary of that. And that's why it's a tough thing to land on, right? Is me in 2018, 2019 so desperately wanted something that now I have. And not only do I have it the way that I thought I would have it in 2018, 2019, but like I really, really had it, Like I just can't put that into words. Like, people say, "Ooh, best job in the world," It wasn't the best job in the world. I wasn't like, I don't know what the best job in the world is. Tying balloon animals at a county fair, that's the best job in the world right there. Those smiles that you put on kids' faces, priceless. But it was a fantastic job. It was an incredible job. And turning down the offer of continuing to do that, it's tough, right? Does anyone have any experience doing this? I've never done it. I've mostly just worked at shitty jobs that I didn't want to work at anymore. And even then, leaving those was a fucking nightmare, man. We're not going to get to an hour. I'm going to stop it at 50 minutes on the dot. So, truly thank you to James. Truly thank you to Lauren for everything. I really appreciate it, if that isn't very obvious. I'm not, turning down this offer because you guys suck or anything. It just didn't feel right, and I just have to follow that gut feeling, And this isn't news to them. We've obviously had conversations about this, but we'll see what's next. I'm looking forward to it. If my new boss is watching this and you're like, hey, how come he's so sappy about this? What a red flag. I don't know, man. I'm just a human. But I'm gonna stop it at 50 minutes. So guess below where where you think I'm gonna work. I'm interested to know. But until then, I'm gonna submit all my Full House cards to PSA, try and get some 10s, you know, fill out that set registry or whatever. All right.